Professional, is it?
Hello?
Hello, yes. I'm at a doctor's surgery here in Montpelier. Okay, this doctor just told me, he said, was it for fuck's sake?
For fuck's sake.
Because I'm calling the police.
A very bad attitude to grey.
Yeah, okay, we're in America, and what are you? This is boot camp, is it? This is the way a doctor speaks. I was a little old lady.
Benjamin.
I have as much right to be spoken to as anybody else. Okay.
Get on with it, and then you need to...
No, you don't. You don't tell me to get on with it, you fascist. Who are you? I'm a patient in a surgery with an injury here in my leg.
Can you come to us, please?
Yes, immediately.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Did you hear that? This is recorded. 999 is recorded.
Good.
Piece of shit. What have I done to you? I don't even know you from only 2 seconds ago. And you're shouting and bawling. No, don't lie. Don't lie. Yes, I'm just trying to speak to your colleague. All I'm saying is I just want to deal with the matter in writing. That should be my choice. I don't want to have to speak.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, that's what if apparently your colleague isn't aware of that, so that's great. So can you reopen the complaint and respond to my complaint in writing if you have any queries?
Oh, so you've already complained, have you? So if you want to complain, I tell you what, Mr. Go, what I'm going to do, personally, is I'm going to look at the whole complaint process that you've been through already, and then I'm going to give you a call back later on today.
No, I'm just saying, so Annabelle, I've just said I don't want to discuss it personally with anybody. I simply want to deal with the matter in writing. I've received...
Mr. Gray, I'm really sorry. I can't really understand what you're saying because you're shouting at me.
I'm not shouting.
So I'm more than happy to help you, but you are shouting at me a little bit.
You're lying. If your policy is just to simply accuse the complainant of lying, then you clearly, what do you want? You want to escalate the matter to involve the police.
Mr. Gray, Mr. Gray, I haven't called you a liar. I'm not saying that you're lying.
Annabelle.
I'm going to hang the phone up now, sir. If you'd like to talk about it again or make another complaint, that's absolutely fine. But you don't need to speak to me like that. I'm trying to help you. So I am going to terminate the phone call now. Okay, thank you.
You're a liar.
Good evening, through to the NHS 111 service, speaking to Valerie, I'm a health advisor. Can I confirm you've called us on a mobile ending 156?
Hello, Valerie. Yes, you can.
And is that the best number for us to contact you on today?
I beg your pardon?
Is that the best number for us to contact you on this evening?
Yes, that's great.
Thank you. Are you calling about yourself or someone else?
Myself.
And could I have your date of birth, please?
11/7/66.
Thank you. And could I have your name?
Benjamin Gray, Gray.
Thank you. Could you confirm the first line of your home address and your postcode?
Yes, it's 6 Boswell Street, Bravo Sierra 5, 6 Sierra Golf.
And is that where you are at the moment?
Affirmative.
And are you currently at home by yourself or with another adult?
It's the first, I'm by myself.
Are you still with the Bridgeview Medical Centre?
I am.
And would you like to give me a brief reason for your call this evening?
Yes, I would. Is it Valerie I'm speaking to?
Yes.
Yeah, I've just had a call I had 2 calls in the last hour from your colleagues. One of them said just to tell me that there was going to be a slight delay, that I should have got contact within 2 hours from the time your colleague Dan, booked an appointment for a GP to ring me. I said that was no problem. I was happy to wait, until the morning if necessary, but within reason. And that she sort of led me to believe that it might be longer than 24 hours. But then she said I probably will get a call quite soon from the GP. I then got another call from Hayley to say that she downgraded me to an urgent. She had diagnosed me not needing to see a GP or speak to a GP even. And said that she could prescribe some other cream if what I'd had hadn't worked, and that I didn't need to see a GP. And she was actually quite rude and quite hostile, to say, that if I went to the hospital I would have to have a long wait. And I don't quite understand that she has that power to downgrade it. Dan seem to think,
So if I could just stop you there, sir, it obviously wasn't us that called you, it was the Art of Ours doctors. We referred it to them, they're the ones that contacted you. And obviously they make a clinical assessment, they are medical practitioners.
No, you've not understood anything I've just said. It wasn't a doctor. It was a nurse. It was a medical practitioner, but it wasn't a doctor. Indeed, the whole point of what I've just said for the last 5 minutes was the fact that I haven't got a that I wasn't going to get a call from the doctor as arranged with Dan. Your colleague said that I was going to get a call from a GP, and this Haley,
right.
who's
if I could just stop you there, that was rather unfortunate. They told you we had a call from a doctor, because the Art of Ours comprises nurse practitioners, paramedics, and doctors. So it's normally someone who is medically qualified.
Your colleague Dan said quite clearly I need to speak to a GP. He said I hadn't got anywhere.
Yeah.
The whole issue with Dan, and he can confirm this. It should be on the computer. But he said.
So can I just interrupt you for 2 seconds? Once we send it to the Art of Ours doctors, it is out of our remit. I'm
not blaming you. I'm not having a go at you for what happened with Haley. If the problem is though, you said that I had a call from a GP. If Haley's downgraded it, I'm not blaming you for that. But I'm entitled to make an inquiry about whether am I now downgraded? Is it not up to you whether I see a GP? I mean, Dan.
No, it's not up to us, unfortunately. We only send it across to the Art of Ours doctors with the recommendation you have contact within a specific time. Obviously, once we send it to the Art of Ours doctors, we have nothing further to do with the case. It then becomes their case.
Why hasn't it gone to if it's gone to the doctor, why am I getting a call from the nurse?
It's gone to the Art of Ours doctors. The Art of Ours doctors is a service comprised of, as I say, it could be a paramedic, it could be a nurse practitioner, it could be a pharmacist, it could be a GP.
But can I speak a moment? That Dan, your colleague Dan, said he assessed me. I gave him the symptoms, and he put it onto a computer, and he said, you need to see a GP. I'll make sure a GP contacts you. I've had the same issue with 111.
I understand, but as I'm saying...
You must allow me to speak. You must allow me to speak.
But you're not listening to what I've said. Once we send it to the Art of Ours doctors, we cannot dictate what level of medical practitioner will contact you.
I don't understand. If no doctor's made aware of my needing to see a doctor, where does the nurse come in? If you've approached the doctor, a nurse has no business taking over the case. They shouldn't even know about it because it's gone to a GP.
That's not how it works.
Well, how does it work?
I'll explain to you once more. We do an assessment. We then send it to the Art of Ours service. Perhaps we shouldn't call it the Art of Ours doctors. It's the Art of Ours service. They then clinically risk assess the details that we have sent through. Now, it's normally a qualified medical practitioner that will contact you, but we cannot decide or dictate to the Art of Ours service.
But you can inquire.
Who will actually call you?
Sorry, if your colleague has said I need to see a doctor, a proper GP, and I've done this before. I had an ear problem about 9 months ago.
Sir, can I stop you there?
No, you're not going to let me speak. You're not going to let me speak.
No, sir.
You're harassing me.
We're just wasting time and going
in
in circles.
You're talking like a robot over me continually. I'm in absolute agony, and you're showing no human compassion at all. You sound like a machine rather than a human being. And all I'm asking you, I'm not even blaming you for what is going on, but you're not interested in the fact. Can I point?
What would you like me to do?
Well, I'll say one thing, and you say your name is Valerie. The NHS website that I've located, which you can access yourself, is GP if you have symptoms of the ones that I've got, piles, and they're getting worse, or there's no improvement after 7 days of treatment at home. I've had it for 6 weeks, and I'm now in agony. And so the GP 7 days is now exceeded by some month, and I'm still not getting seen by a GP. So and your colleague Dan said I was entitled to see a GP, And now you're saying even if now I can't have a GP, even though it's what the NHS says, it's what Dan says, and it's what I clearly need because only they are qualified to. And it says they may also check for your symptoms are not being caused by something else. Well, obviously they can't do that over the phone. But generally the 111 service are completely flouting the GP.
It's not the 111 service, it's the out of hours service.
No, why would
send it to, as I've explained to you, sir, it's a different service to the 111 service. So, really, this is something you should have taken up with the out of hours.
So Dan, so just to finish off then, and
right, sir, you keep explaining, you keep telling me that this Dan said you need to see a doctor. We sent it to the out of hours doctors. They made a decision. So I'm asking you, what would you like me to do?
You're a liar. They haven't made
the decision. Right, sir, you're accusing me of lying. We're not getting anywhere with this call.
The decision.
I'm going to disconnect the call, sir.
What doctor's made the decision? You liar.
Sir, I'm sorry, we're not getting anywhere. I'm going to disconnect the call.
You said a doctor's made the decision.
Your condition
what doctor has made the decision? What's the name of the doctor's decision?
You've already complained to them about discuss this. I'm quiet, please. Away from the crowd. No, am I under arrest? No. Do you have powers of arrest? No. I'm not.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, what are you arresting me for?
Under what? Say we're not arresting you.
Well then I don't have to go anywhere with you, do I?
Well, you do because we also work on CGIA 2008, which is powers of removal for NHS security.
Remove me. Do what you want. Remove me.
You are going anyway.
Right.
You are leaving.
Why? Well, because I've got an infection and because I've complained about this woman being aggressive to me.
It's more to do with the way you've spoken to people.
Well, you come, well, what are you, 24 stone, you come right into my face talking about the way I've spoken to someone. You're not judge and jury about what occurred in private with that lady.
Don't you think it's funny? We've got a whole host of people here who are getting treated and they don't not acting like you. So
maybe they're being treated, I don't know,
anyway,
I can't speak for them. I can't speak for them. No, it's not. It's not over. It's not over. I've already got, I've got an infection here. Yes, sir. Because you don't actually have to get into my face.
I'm not into your face, I'm talking to you.
You don't have to be within such a close distance to me.
They are not going to treat you here tonight, all right?
I'm going to get treatment,
no.
or
you're going to have to go to another place.
Arrested. No, I'm going to get treated like any other British UK citizen.
Right.
Yes,
so
well then you'll have to torture me or kidnap me or something along those lines.
You have to go to a different facility, okay?
No, where am I going to go? No, I have basic rights. My grandparents, my parents, my great-grandparents have fought for the rights which everybody in this country enjoys. NHS is for everybody, not just the elite few, not just for the taxpayers, not just for somebody vaguely resembling wearing a uniform.
Sir,
no, I'm not going anywhere with you.
Have a look at that sign.
What does it say? I don't need you to read that.
Zero tolerance for abuse.
I have not been abusive. Tell me about my abuse. Tell the judge and jury about my abuse. What is my abuse? Somebody in a uniform has asked you to take care of Gray.
Mr. Gray.
That's what you call abuse, is it? That's what you call a fair trial and a hearing, is it?
Right.
Tell me about the abuse. You've now accused me of one all these people. You've libeled me. Tell me about the abuse.
You've been aggressive and abusive towards them.
Tell me about the aggression. Aggression isn't an adjective. It's not a thing in and of itself. You can do something good.
So they are refusing to treat you here on these premises tonight.
Well, I'm staying on these premises and I'm trying to enforce my rights.
Causing a nuisance disturbance on
how have I
premises
caused a nuisance to come here to
Section 120 gives us the power to remove.
You blathering
so I'm asking you nicely to leave the premises,
You blathering nonsense in my face.
Asking you nicely to leave. Right.
You're going to break my arms as well.
Sorry about this.
I'm using section 120.
Section 120. Section 120 under what? Under what?
Criminal Justice and Immigration Act.
Section 120.
Criminal Justice and Immigration Act, sir.
Okay. You see, you actually are going to try and break my arms.
No.
You're going to break my arms. Can I have my mobile phone?
You can have that back in a second. That's not a problem.
Is this how you do things in Great Britain?
No, see, we've asked you nicely to leave.
Yeah, well then call the police.
Asked you if there's anything we could reasonably do or say that you want to leave.
What have I done to require this?
You're shouting, you're screaming, you've been abusive towards staff, you're not actually breaking your arm.
Section 120.
So you're going to break my arm?
No, nobody's going to break your arm.
Right, remove you.
Okay. Yes, I have. It's right, it's broken off the...
And this is reasonable force, is it?
Yes, it is.
Why can't you call the police?
Don't have to.
Surely, no, so even though I've not threatened you, I've not threatened you, I've not threatened you, I've not done anything remotely.
Have to call the police.
Anywhere near breaching the... Just
if we want to call the police, we will, but we don't want to at this point.
At the moment, you're removed. what you intend to do is...
Right, I'm now, when am I... When am
8 hour
no
ban,
longer
now in
premises?
Paystop.
Back at your
You've
house.
now got an 8 hour ban, alright? There you go, that's mine.
Where are you going?
That's yours. That's yours. There you go, have a good evening.
Is it? Ah, okay. Still recording, is it?
Yes, it is, I believe. Right.
You must have called the thing on something.
Alright, so that takes you up to 5 to 4 in the morning, okay?
No, I'm going to the police now, mate.
That's perfectly fine.
I'll be down the police station in the courts long before anything else happens.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right.
But
Well, just to make you clearly
I
aware,
haven't committed any offences, so
you
I'm going to be ironed out one way.
you haven't been arrested neither, have you?
You've been removed.
You've been escorted off the premises.
If I've been aggressive,
The staff nurse, the triage nurse says so.
That should involve the police.
No.
No, it's our choice if we want to call the police or not. Not yours. You can choose to call the police for your reasons. We're calling for our reasons if we want to. At this moment in time, we don't feel there's a need to call them.
Like the police, please.
I think it's worth showing them this footage actually.
Oh, we will.
We'll put
yeah.
a ban in.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I've got a ban order in place.
Let's at least 4 court cases out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you in front of the judge as soon as possible. Yeah.
Public order.
Yeah, police, please. Public order, yeah.
Breach of the peace.
Yeah, public order, yeah. I'm sure you've won a lot of cases in the court. I'm sure you've won. Hello? Police, please. I'm getting involved in a fight or some sort of a potential serious fight. I'm outside University Hospital in
Bristol Road Infirmary.
Bristol.
Bristol Road Infirmary.
I'm sorry, this is a private conversation between me and the police.
Then don't talk to me.
I'm not talking to you.
You are.
Oh, well, I am now, yeah. Because
Talk
you're
to the
crooked
police.
thumbs, yeah.
Don't come back over this line, please.
Stay off the premises. Stay off the premises, please.
Call the police then. Hello.
You're on the phone to the police.
They're refusing me treatment. They're making allegations. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you listening to me? You're going to keep saying sir. I'm outside Bristol Royal Infirmary talking to 2 goons that have been hired to. One of them's already tried to break my arm. And if I feel under threat from him, I'm going to obviously have to retaliate. Okay, because I have basic rights here. Yeah.
What are you taking a fighting stance for?
Huh?
What are you taking a fighting stance for?
You want to find out? 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 That's mine. That's mine. That's mine.
Okay. Now you try to attack.
For him a minute.
If I try to attack you, know about it.
Just see the glasses actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Trying to get the bike.
Oh, you've got handcuffs.
Yeah, we got handcuffs.
No,
Right.
you my foot. You need to straighten it.
Thank you.
Could you hold on
Yeah.
to that,
Thank you, mate.
please?
Thank you.
Vipers.
Yeah, we'll go for that. He tried to attack us. Okay. Right. They're on now.
Could you get off my legs, please? Because you're actually really hurting them. Can I move my leg? Can I move my leg, please?
There you go.
I'm not exactly resisting on my... Can you get off my leg, please?
Can you feel that?
Really hurting.
Sorry, it's the leg. I've got handcuffs.
My legs, please.
I must tell you, if you struggle when these are on, they may cause you discomfort. Okay?
My leg, my back legs, please.
Just one
You're
side.
under arrest
Put you on the side.
for a breach of the peace. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something you later rely on in
Why,
court.
you think it's right to try and break my arm to you in the lift?
Nobody's tried to break your arm.
Yeah,
Right.
you think you lying piece.
Okay, you ready when you are.
It's alright. I personally won't come out.
That's all right, get them off. Okay, we're going to sit you up now, okay? Right, sit you up. There you go. And now we're going to stand you up.
Right, I'm going to get some witnesses.
There you go. Excellent. Thank you very much. What do you have to go and do something like that for?
Okay, that's all right.
We'll do it via radio, but thank you.
This is what you get when you get. This is the treatment you get now from the courtesy of the NHS. You end up with more injuries than you came with. You end up with more injuries than you came with. You don't have to keep. You don't keep yanking the cuffs into me. I'm not. I didn't resist.
You want these?
Yes.
Keep still.
Yes, we need police to be alright. We're under arrest for assault.
So if you're assaulted, how come you're still in one piece? How come there's not a mark on you? Did I miss my blow?
To prevent these from hurting, cause any further discomfort, I'm going to double lock them, okay?
Look at these goons, look at the state of them. You might as well be in Syria. For this, my grandparents fought the war. For this.
Do you know what? So do mine.
For this, millions died. Yeah, exactly. Go and spit on your grandparents' grave.
Don't spit.
Exactly.
Don't want to know it.
Go and spit on your grandparents' grave, because that's the respect you show them.
Keep your spit away from me.
If I was going to
keep your spit, stay looking away from me, or you'll be put back down on the floor. Do I make myself clear?
I'm not looking.
Do I make myself clear? Yes or no?
Yes, yeah. I mean,
thank you.
About the floor and the twisted cuffs. Is that your case, is it? Is that your case? I wanted to, was she there in triage? Was she there like you in triage?
Why don't you save it for the police?
Save what? Save what? Save my right to free speech. Wherever I am.
You can free
wherever
speech.
I am.
As long as it's not abusive.
Look at you, abusive. Look at you, you're walking abuse. Look at you. Half pit bull, half human. You knew nothing about my state of mind, nothing about why I was here. You come and walk into my face, put your ugly face into my face when I've done nothing wrong, hurt nobody, come here with an injury.
I think the nurses in there will say otherwise, sir.
Will they? Yeah. Well, I've got the recording of it. Just because somebody's in doesn't work like that in the law court. Just because somebody's a nurse.
They've made an allegation.
Oh, then it's what allegation? Being aggressive. Being aggressive. It doesn't mean anything.
Does it not?
No, it doesn't. You can do something perfectly decent aggressively.
So
you can make an aggressive attempt to be nice.
And somebody being fear and safety, and that's not making them feel,
shouldn't you give me some indication of what I've done wrong before you start walking into my face?
Several times. We told you what you've done wrong.
No, I have rights. My people fought for my right to use the NHS.
And we've got rights to rescind that.
Yeah, to wound me, to wound and try and break my arm. I don't give your father is in hell where you're going.
Don't
your dog.
Talk about the man's father.
To give birth to scum like you.
I think it reveals the true person that we're looking at, Mike, doesn't it?
Look what you're doing to my wrist. Look what you've done to me. Why should I have to provoke a reaction? You're supposed to be professional.
We are.
Yeah, so how can I provoke a reaction?
That's why you're
Well, you need to mention it. You have to mention it to begin with.
It's all being recorded.
You're dogs.
You were explaining.
You're dogs and henchmen. Nothing. You're not even fighting your own vendetta.
Police en route.
Yes, proceed,
thank you.
When they get here, if you'd like to speak to them, I'll keep them.
Okay, yeah, we're more than happy.
I'm not talking to my colleague.
I don't give a duff. Why should I care who you're talking to? I want to know about your case against me. Come here with 3 times more injuries than I came with. Fine. What a barbaric zoo. Afghanistan on a stick this is. Afghanistan on a stick. Somebody in a uniform says I'm being aggressive, so I get my arms broken off, do I? That's instant justice, is it? That's Taliban justice. That's what it is. What the great heroes are supposed to be fighting against. Country fit for heroes. You're a country fit for dogs. Anything that allows creatures like you to walk about unhindered, unmolested. You might as well blow up the cenotaph and be done. 6 years of the Blitz my mother endured to fight against Hitler and to people like you, against monsters like you. For nothing.
Can I ask you very nicely just to calm down?
What? Where are the police? I've been in What? You just stick me in. You stick me in the stocks.
Can I ask you nicely?
You stick me in the stocks for the public benefit.
Right behind
for
you
the public
is a
pleasure.
children's hospital.
Where are the police?
There's an accident.
They're not the ones being tortured. Take the handcuffs off. Loosen the cuffs then.
That there is
and I might be quiet. Loosen the cuffs.
I'm not loosening.
Stop torturing.
I'm going to do an independent check.
Where are the police?
I checked them once. Yeah, but feel free.
Do an independent one.
Where are the police?
I can get my finger in.
Thank you.
In the dog that just tried to break my arms in the lift.
Yeah,
right.
Hospital right behind you. An accident emergency. It was a distressed child.
Oh, I should be here quietly and be tortured.
No, you've got the right to say what you want. I'm asking you just to keep it down a little bit, please. Okay.
Filthy vermin. Filthy parasite henchman.
Thank you.
So how long are the police not? I saw a police car go past already.
Yes, I saw
I walked to the police station. There's one down there.
We're not going to walk you down now.
You're only detaining me. You've only got handcuffs sticking into my flesh. You do understand the presumption of innocence, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm presumed innocent, but why am I having handcuffs dug into my wrists?
Because you've been under arrest and not dug on your wrist.
We're going to stand here, what, for how many hours? Are you going to stop calling the police?
As long as it takes for the police to come here, yeah.
I think, am I not allowed to sit down?
I would prefer if you stand up for your safety, so you avoid positional asphyxiation, okay?
I'm prepared to take that risk. I'm in front of the camera.
Well, I'm not.
Okay, so you're going to keep me standing?
Yes,
right.
yes, sir.
I'm fairly, in a stress position?
It's not stress,
in the stress position?
It's not stress.
You are.
It's actually
you know nothing. Do you even know why I'm in hospital? I could have a fever for all you know.
No, I do know why you're in hospital.
Oh, you do? You do? I haven't even seen the doctor. So you're one step ahead of the doctor who hasn't diagnosed me.
Nurse,
you with your 20 doctor's degrees. Because people who have jobs like you definitely are intellects, aren't they? No, you're just the dog's body for intellects. Get it right. Can't you call the police to find out how long they're going to take to get here?
I've just heard
but they don't know that these casks are digging in. They're going to leave massive wells.
And they weren't told you when I applied.
No, they
may cause you discomfort. As it is, I checked them, and my colleague has checked them.
Discomfort is pain.
They will not be getting adjusted. They are perfectly fine.
You're supposed to use reasonable force to detain me so long as reasonably necessary until the police come in.
You are under arrest, sir.
Yeah, I'm under arrest for the purposes of the police, not for you to keep me standing here, for this goon to be staring at me. Yes, I know you're extremely brave because you're fat, you're big, you're large, you're ugly, and you've got lots of fat, ugly, large mates with you. So how brave are you to square up for me in those circumstances?
You squared up.
How brave are you to square up to me and eyeball me when I'm shackled and you got your goon to hold me still? Really brave, really heroic. I'm not going to spit. I haven't even got any spit to talk with hardly. If I was going to spit at you, if I was going to hurt you in any way, you think I would do it out here in the public street with 20 witnesses and your video camera on? I'm not a brainless dog, okay? If I was going to hurt you, if I had any ill feeling towards you at all those nurses or anybody else, I wouldn't be out here making a scene, drawing attention to myself, all right? If I was going to strike at you, I'm trying to attack at you. Oh, and I missed. Did I miss? I missed. Why? Because you're so small.
No,
because you're so tiny and I'm invalided.
You weren't able to do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, because you're so quick fast.
I even asked you.
You're so quick fast.
But I asked you while you're taking a fighting stance.
Yeah, if I was going to strike at a fighting stance.
If I knew that, I already knew.
A fighting stance. This man has just tried to break my arm in the lift.
kind of preempted what he was going to do.
This man, why don't you worry about him trying to break my arm in the lift than me about my fighting stance?
Well, we never got injured, and you got taken to the floor, handcuffed and arrested. And there you go, that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah, your Ibrahimi style goon tactics. Anybody, Ibrahimi, the one that the police kept arresting until he was burnt to death by his neighbours.
Because I know you're on about.
Because in the eyes of anyone remotely resembling a uniform, he was deemed a scum and lowlife, and therefore easy prey. Right. And the scapegoat! So much easier to scapegoat, isn't it?
And what's that got to do here and now? Must have called a thing on something. These cameras. So it takes you to 5 to 4 in the morning, okay?
No, I'm calling the police now, mate. You see what?
Do what you want.
I'll be down the police station in the courts long before anything else happens.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. But I don't going to come to that because I haven't committed any offences, so it's going to be ironed out one way or the other.
You haven't been arrested neither, have you?
You've been removed under section 120 CGIA.
If I've been aggressive, then there surely should be something that should involve the police.
No.
It's our choice if we want to call the police or not. Not yours. You're can choose to call the police for your reasons. We'll call them for our reasons if we want to. At this moment in time, we don't feel there's a need to call them.
Okay, police, please.
I think it's worth showing them this footage actually, because we'll put a banning order on him.
Let's at least 4 court cases out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get you in front of the judge as soon as possible.
Public order.
Police, please. Public order, yeah. I'm sure you've won a lot of cases in the court. I'm sure you've won as many as I have. Yeah. Hello? Police, please. I'm getting involved in a fight or some sort of a potential serious fight. I'm outside University Hospital in Central Bristol. I'm sorry, this is a private conversation between me and the police. I'm not talking to you. Oh, I am now, yeah. Because you're crooked thumbs, yeah.
Don't come back over this line, please.
What are you going to do? You're going to attack me again?
Don't come
the police then. Hello?
Don't come over the...
They're refusing me treatment. They're making allegations. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you listening to me? You're going to keep saying sorry. I'm outside Bristol Royal Infirmary talking to 2 goons that have been hired to. One of them's already tried to break my arm, and if I feel under threat from him, I'm going to obviously have to retaliate. Okay, because I have basic rights here. Yeah.
What are you taking a fighting stance for?
Huh? You're going to find out. 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 Find out. That's mine.
Okay. Oh, Mike, let me viper him a minute. Thank you very much. Trying to get the vipers out, mate.
Yeah, we got handcuffs.
Right.
Thank
you. Yeah, thank you, mate. Vipers?
Yeah, we'll go for that. He tried to attack us.
Okay.
Alright.
Right, you want to caution him? You're under arrest
on the side.
for a breach of the peace. You do not have to say anything. But it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something you later rely on in court.
You think it's right to try and break my arm for you in the lift? I don't think so.
Break your arm.
Yeah, you did, you lying piece.
Okay, you've already done one. Yeah, it's alright. I personally won't come out.
That's alright, don't mind. Okay, we're going to sit you up now, okay? Alright, sit you up. There you go. And now I'm going to stand you.
Mike, I'm going to get some witnesses' statements.
There you go. Sorry, thank you very much.
This is what you get when you get. This is the treatment you get now from the NHS.
Security, come in, please, over.
Sit down.
You end up with more injuries than you came with. You end up with more injuries than you came
Mike,
with.
you got him. I want to get some witness details.
You keep yanking the cuffs. I'm not resisting. I
Do you
didn't
want
resist.
these? Do you want these?
Yes. So if you're assaulted, how come you're still in one piece? How come there's not a mark on you? Did I miss my blow? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? I'm not going to shush. Look at these goons. Look at the state of them. You might as well be in Syria. For this, my grandparents fought a war. For this. For this, millions died. Yeah, exactly. Go and spit on your grandparents' grave.
Don't spit.
Exactly. Go and spit on your grandparents' grave, because that's the respect you've shown them. If I was going to speak to Is that your case, is it? Is that your case?
Do you know why don't you save it for the police?
Was she there like you in triage?
Why don't you save it for the police?
Save what? Save what? Save my right to free speech. Wherever I am.
You can free
wherever
speech.
I am.
As long as it's not abusive.
Look at you, abusive. Look at you, you're walking abuse. Look at you. Half pit bull, half human. You knew nothing about my state of mind, nothing about why I was here. You come and walk into my face, put your ugly face into my face when I've done nothing wrong, hurt nobody, come here with an injury.
I think the nurses in there will say otherwise, sir.
Will they?
Yeah.
Well, I've got the recording of it.
Good.
Just because somebody's in doesn't work like that in the law court. Just because somebody's a nurse.
Hi, security.
Oh, then it's what allegation? Being aggressive. Being aggressive. It doesn't mean anything.
Sorry, it's kicking right off here. We need the police here now. I can hardly hear anything. It's kicking right off, as you can hear.
You think?
Well,
shouldn't you give me some indication of what I've done wrong before you start walking into my face?
Times we told you what you've done wrong.
No, I have rights. My people fought for my right to use the NHS.
And we've got rights to rescind that.
Yeah, to wound me.
So did my
to
father.
Wound and try and break my arm.
You were a complete disgrace.
Your father is in hell where you're going. Your dog. To give birth to scum like you.
I think it reveals the true person that we're looking at, Mike, doesn't it?
Look what you're doing to my wrist. Look what you've done to me. Why should I have to provoke a reaction? You're supposed to be professional.
We are.
Yeah, so how can I provoke a reaction? Well, you need to mention it. You have to mention it to begin with. Yes, you are. You're dogs. You're dogs and henchmen. Nothing. You're not even fighting your own vendetta.
Police en route.
Yes, proceed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be more than happy.
I'll talk to my colleague.
Yeah, it's all right. They'll do it.
Come here with 3 times more injuries
Yeah,
than I came
A&E.
with. Fine. What a barbaric zoo. Afghanistan on a stick. This is Afghanistan on a stick. Somebody in a uniform says I'm being aggressive, so I get my arms broken off, do I? That's instant justice, is it? That's Taliban justice. That's what it is. What the great heroes are supposed to be fighting against. Country fit for heroes. You're a country fit for dogs. Anything that allows creatures like you to walk about unhindered, unmolested. You might as well blow up the cenotaph and be done. 6 years of the Blitz my mother endured to fight against Hitler and to people like you, against monsters like you, for nothing.
I ask you very nicely just to calm down.
What were the police? I've been in what? You just stick me in. You stick me in the stocks.
I'll ask you nicely.
You stick me in the stocks for the public benefit.
Right behind
for the public pleasure. Where are the police?
Children.
They're not the ones being tortured. Take the handcuffs off. Loosen the cuffs then. And I might be quiet. Loosen the cuffs. Stop torturing me.
I'm going to do an independent check.
Where are the police?
I'm going to do an independent one.
Where are the
right,
police?
I can get my finger in there. That's absolutely fine.
The dog that just tried to break my arms in the lift. Yeah, right.
Hospital right behind you, an accident emergency. It was a distressed child.
Oh, I should be here quietly and be tortured.
No, you've
by
got the right
Mr.
to say
Big
what
Thug.
you want. I'm asking you just to keep it down a little bit, please. Okay?
Filthy vermin. Filthy parasite henchman.
Thank you.
So how long are the police not? I saw a police car go past already.
Yes,
well, I'm sure they're on other jobs.
We're not going to walk you down now.
Oh, you're only detaining me. You've only got handcuffs sticking into my flesh. You do understand the presumption of innocence, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm presumed innocent, but why am I having handcuffs dug into my wrists? Unless some torture. We're going to stand here, what, for how many hours? Are you going to start calling the police?
Well, you know what it's like with public services.
Am I not allowed to sit down? Am I within my rights?
For your safety, so you avoid positional asphyxiation, okay?
I'm prepared to take that risk. I'm in front of the camera. Okay, so you're going to keep me standing, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm fairly, what, in a stress position?
It's not stress.
In the stress position? Yeah, you are. You know nothing. Do you don't even know why I'm in hospital? I could have a fever for all you know.
I do know why you're in hospital.
Oh, you do, you do. I haven't even seen the doctor. So you're one step ahead of the doctor who hasn't diagnosed me. You with your 20 doctor's degrees. Because people who have jobs like you definitely are intellects, aren't they? No, you're just the dog's body for intellects. Get it right. You call the police to find out how long they're going to take to get here.
Well, I've just heard that.
They don't know that these casks are digging in. They're going to leave massive welts.
And they weren't told you when I applied.
No, they're causing me severe. No, they're causing me pain.
And my colleague
discomfort is pain. Discomfort is pain. You're supposed to use reasonable force to detain me so long as reasonably necessary until the police come here. Yeah, I'm under arrest for the purposes of the police, not for you to keep me standing here, for this goon to be staring at me. Like, so, yes, I know you're extremely brave because you're fat You're big, you're large, you're ugly, and you've got lots of fat, ugly, large mates with you. So how brave are you to square up for me in those circumstances? How brave are you to square up to me and eyeball me when I'm shackled and you've got your goon to hold me still? Huh? Really brave, really heroic.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Wouldn't what? I'm not going to spit it. I haven't even got any spit to talk with, hardly. If I was going to spit at you, if I'm going to hurt you in any way, you think I would do it out here in the public street with 20 witnesses and your video camera on? I'm not a brainless dog, okay? If I was going to hurt you, if I had any ill feeling towards you at all those nurses or anybody else, I wouldn't be out here making a scene, drawing attention to myself, all right? If I was going to strike at you there,
but you did.
And try and attack you,
and
I missed. Did I miss? I missed. Why? Because you're so small.
No,
because you're so tiny, and I'm invalided.
You weren't able to do what you wanted.
Yeah, because you're so quick, fast. You're so quick, fast.
But I asked you why you're taking a fighting stance.
Yeah, if I was going to strike at a fighting stance, this man has just tried to break my arm in the lift.
Kind of preempted what he was going to do.
This man, why don't you worry about him trying to break my arm in the lift than me about my fighting stance?
We never got injured, and you got taken to the floor, handcuffed, and arrested. And there you get. That's the bottom line of it.
Yeah, your Ibrahimi style goon tactics. Ibrahimi, the one that the police kept arresting until he was burnt to death by his neighbours, because in the eyes of anyone remotely resembling a uniform, he was deemed a scum and lowlife, and therefore easy prey. And the scapegoat, so much easier to scapegoat, isn't it?
And what's that got to do with here and now?
Well, so if the police take 4 or 5 hours, just going to stand here, you think it's lawful to keep me here shackled up 4 or 5 hours standing here, not even allowed to sit down? You seriously think that's not breaking the law? You wait, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, mate. You really have no idea.
I know.
Yeah,
I've been doing it.
I guarantee I know why the police aren't here.
I know. I've been doing it through.
Yeah. Well, every dog has its day, mate. Every dog has its day. Every dog has its day, goonface. What are you anyway? You're probably some sort of reject from the police anyway, aren't you? Or some kind of. It's usually security staff, isn't it? Trajectory downwards. Yeah, whiff of stink hangs over you.
She attends and speaks to the police due to the complaint that she's put forward, sort of now in trial. She was now under arrest, over.
And I'm just going to relay that to the person on the phone. Hold the line.
What do you do for a living, sir? There you go.
You'll find out soon enough, mate. Suing scum like you, mostly.
Oh, great. Good luck with that one. Okay.
Have an investigation while I'm stood here.
4892.
Officer!
4892.
Officer!
Go on. I'm going to put you through to a call handler. So if you can give me the gist of it, and then I'll take your name, and then I'll put you through to the call handler.
Yeah, well, as I say, I mean, that's what I was trying to do, but you interrupted. The issue is, I've had an ongoing issue with my previous surgery, Montpelier, in central Bristol, in respect to an incident that happened in July 2018. And Basically, the doctor called me he swore at me. He used the F word several times, and called me a piece of shit. I was on the phone to the police at the time because I'd also suffered an attack earlier. I got into a huge wrangle with him. The police turned up. There was a PC Wall who turned up. He refused to investigate my complaint, saying that the doctor had said that he was distressed by my conduct, and that was what caused him to behave as he did. I recorded the whole thing was recorded on the police call, and I got a copy of that under data protection. And there's nothing in my manner at all. At the time he's swearing at me and stuff. that denotes that. And he refused to investigate it. I'm very well known to the police. I've been involved in huge amounts of litigation and so forth. So I'm very unpopular and well known to the police. Um, and what happened was, is after that matter wasn't investigated, Dr. Balewood, who was the doctor I got involved with, or the surgery, referred me what's called to the SAS Special Allocation Scheme, which means I'm banned from having any further GPs. I've been accused of assaulting a medical professional, which is what you have to do to get onto the SAS scheme, which means you have to go to a special place in the hospital Bristol Royal Infirmary. I've said that this has gone on for like 8 years now. It's got enough is enough. Could you take me off the scheme? I've gone back to the surgery. They've investigated it. I've got a whole load of absolute fabrications, accusing me of doing all kinds of things as though they're facts, even though everything was recorded. There's no reference to the recording I made by Miss Hawkins. She's refused to take me off that and said because of your behaviour, you're going to stay on the scheme. And this is basic harassment. I'm being treated every time I turn up to hospital. I've got a record saying that I'm on the SAS, which basically means that immediately tells that nurse or the doctor that I've assaulted or been violent or threatening to a medical professional staff, which is complete fabrication. So I'm being criminally harassed. I'm being prevented from a medical professional. I want to report the general issue of harassment and the letter itself is a malicious communication because it's clearly designed to upset me. It's clearly fabricated. That's the issue. Great. It's Benjamin Gray, Gray, A for Alpha. Great. Please press any button on your handset now, and you'll be transferred at the end of your call. Otherwise, please hold the line to be answered. Yeah, hi. I was just speaking to a colleague. I want to report and have an investigated evidence of harassment and malicious communication from Caroline Hawkins of Montpelier Surgery. She's a admin staff there. So shall I go into the details of my complaint? Well, it's related to a matter that I have reported, but I haven't reported this particular issue.
Yeah, that's fine. If you sort of tell me what's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, basically what happened was in 2018, in I think 26th of July 2018, I was cycling into to the surgery for a very minor issue over an injury. So just a small infection in my finger to have looked at by a nurse, not a doctor. And as I was cycling in, I was attacked by some mixed race lady who was clearly sort of off her head on crack or something, and she threw a knife at me, and that was witnessed by a member of staff from the surgery in Montpelier. So I was already stressed out about that issue. I got involved in an argument with the nurse about she was interrogating me about why I was coming to that surgery, and she wasn't concerned about the assault I just suffered. And then I had a disagreement about what was wrong with my finger. So I asked to speak to a doctor, and I spoke to Dr. Balewood about an hour later after waiting to see Dr. Balewood. I walked into the surgery. I was on the phone to the police on a 999 because I was reporting the attack from the lady in the street and the weapon. And as I was sort of still in the middle of a conversation, I walked into the surgery, and the doctor immediately started swearing at me. So he was effing and blinding. He said, "Fucking get on with it," or something like that. And he said, "You come on, you piece of shit. Just get on with it and get out." And this was all recorded on the 999 call, which I've received under data protection. And a PC Wall was assigned to investigate. He was the officer that turned up at the scene, and by the time, because of the way the doctor was treating me, I lost my temper with him and was shouting a lot. But obviously, when the officer turned up, I was calm. I spoke to him. He said he would investigate the doctor for a public order offence. He called me, PC Wall, although I asked PC Wall to write to me, instead he called me on the phone and said he wasn't going to investigate it, that it was my fault because I'd in some way intimidated the doctor. He didn't say what I'd done, but the doctor was reacting to me, and therefore it was all my fault, and even though it was all recorded, he wasn't going to pursue it. And I think I've made a PSD complaint about that, but I can't remember it so long ago. I can't find any the PSD results on that. The Wall also refused to investigate the lady that had thrown the knife at me, this is my usual dealings with the police. I'm very well known. I've been involved in untold litigation in the High Court over complaints. So, if you ask many of the senior officers in the force, they will know my name, and they don't investigate any issues, or that they will investigate me as somebody if somebody complains about me, but not vice versa. Excuse me. So basically, what's led to the further issue now is that after the incident, the doctor or the surgery or both referred me to what's called a special allocation scheme, which is for people that have assaulted or there's been a violent altercation from a member of the public towards a medical professional, such as a doctor or a nurse. And that means they're taken off all GP surgeries in their locality, and they have to attend a special sort of secure place in the Bristol Royal Infirmary, and you're treated. And so anytime I can attend A&E, but as soon as I attend them, they say, "What's your GP?" And I have to explain, and it's already on the computer anyway that I'm on this SAS scheme. And then therefore I'm treated as someone that has assaulted a nurse, and they treat me accordingly. They refuse even to prescribe me medication. They say if you want to get the medication, you have to go to the special, place in the BRI. I've got further recordings of conversations I've had with, when I've complained about the treatment that I've received in that respect, and I've got a recordings of the kind of treatment I've been receiving when I tried to pursue complaints about treatment as a result of, being on the scheme. So I've gone back to the surgery. I've said, I've now been on the scheme for 8 years. Can you please take me off it? It was completely illegal. It says clearly on the SAS referral that there has to be an incident that's been investigated by the police where somebody has assaulted or been threatening or violent, and they've been treated, and it's clearly asserted, or it's not actually clearly stated, but it's clearly the point is that somebody who's been investigated as the assailant, as the aggressor. The only investigation was by PC Wall, where the doctor was investigated, was himself the suspect for the Section 5 public order or Section 4 public order offence. So it's completely fabricated. I'm in serious medical. I do need a GP. I'm in my late 50s. I've got personal medical issues. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss with you on the phone, but that I've had to discuss with complete strangers on 111 calls and going to the hospital.
Okay, I'm going to just stop you. I'm just a bit confused what the police, or what are you actually trying to report here?
I was getting to that. I'm sorry, it's a bit long-winded. But it's the nature of this particular incident. I wish it was simpler. I wish I could not tell you the background. But I'm coming to the issue, the nub of the criminal complaints, and I'll give you the sort of statutes. There's clear evidence of criminal harassment, because I'm being harassed by being denied a GP, being denied medical treatment, literally being denied prescription medication. And to rub salt into the wounds, only 2 days ago, there's a big report about people who are illegal immigrants getting priority medical treatment above normal patients. So you can imagine how upset I am. I can't get any medical treatment, and I'm a British subject whose family have fought many, many wars to save this country. So, but the issue is I'm being harassed by the treatment that I'm receiving because I'm on the SAS. I'm being denied medical treatment. And as I was about to say, there's also malicious communication from a Caroline Hawkins, because she was the one that has just recently written to me in a letter when I complained about, as I was just saying, being taken off, asking to be taken off the SAS scheme because it's becoming ridiculous, and it's illegal because I don't fit the requirement for somebody to be referred to the scheme. I've got a letter dated the 11th of December 24, where she's accused me of all kinds of serious criminal violence, not criminal violence, but she's saying that I've upset the nurse that I've spoken to, and that the doctor, I've been abusive to the doctor, and that's why he was calling me a piece of shit and effing and blinding at me. It's all complete lies. It's not my fault if the CCTV wasn't seized, but the CCTV would have proven from the timeline that I walked into the surgery whilst I was on the phone to the police. So that there was no missing time. There was literally seconds between when the CCTV would have shown me walking into the surgery and when the doctor was effing and blinding at me. And you can hear when he's speaking to me, he's saying about my attitude. I'm completely quiet. I'm talking to him as I'm talking to you now, completely quietly, and he's effing and blinding. He's doing this clearly because of what he's been told by the nurse, and he's taken her side rather than dealing with me as independently and neutrally. He, as a punishment, and this is malicious communication. This lady, she wasn't at the incident. She's going on hearsay from other of her colleagues, and she hasn't even listened to the recording. I put the recording online. I've referred her to the recording so she can check, she can verify that there was no suggestion of anything that I've done to deserve to be effed and blind at and be called a piece of shit by my doctor. And the consequence of not getting medical treatment is I'm now in serious pain and I'm unable to get treatment. And finally, there's an issue in terms of in 2019, I went to the BRI at A&E. I got into a dispute there because they were treating me because of the SAS referral. They were treating me as someone that's assaulted or been, violent or threatening to medical professionals. So I got into an argument with them, even though it was accepted that I needed to see a doctor. I got 2 security guards came along and they manhandled me. They bent me up and threw me out into the street. Refused to allow me to come back into the hospital, attacked me again when I tried to get back into the hospital, bent me up, handcuffed me, and an officer, I think it's PC Green, turned up. He got me released from the handcuffs. He said he would investigate my complaint, and he said that it was my fault. Again, he blamed me for being thrown out by the staff because of, even though everything in that side was recorded. Although that is not, I'm not complaining about that because that was obviously a PSD or litigation issue. The fact is that that's another reason that I can't even go to the BRI because I'm being assaulted there. The police are refusing to investigate when I'm being attacked by the security guards. It clearly states under the rules that they can remove patients from a hospital. I forget the particular act, but it says clearly that you cannot do this for somebody who actually needs treatment. And it was the nurse that I had the argument with that agreed that I needed to see a GP. So it was already agreed that I needed treatment. Therefore, they couldn't remove me under Section 100 of the act. But that's just a sort of a side issue. The main issue is this: the malicious communication from Miss Hawkins is a complete fabrication, and the issue of my being being held.
Confused why Caroline Hawkins is using this malicious communication. I'm just a bit confused.
Well, I mean, are you
doing that?
Well, are you familiar with the Communications Act 2003?
I'm not. No.
Okay, well that's probably why you're confused because I am. I've actually been arrested for an offence under that by CID some years ago. So I've had to be, and I wasn't prosecuted for it, but I've had to. So I familiarise myself with the Act. It clearly says that somebody who, in part or partially, communicates false information to somebody else, likely to cause them distress. I'm paraphrasing, but it's along those lines. Is guilty of a summary offence of malicious communication. And it's also part. Sorry, go on.
How she's doing that?
I beg your pardon?
You haven't actually stated how she is doing that.
Because she's I've just told you that the information she's provided is absolutely fabricated. It's provably fabricated because my exchanges with the doctor was recorded. So she's lying about what happened in order to justify the doctor verbally abusing me, and then denying me any medical treatment, a GP. Can you imagine what it's like, madam, to not be able to have access to a GP? Either I go.
That doesn't sound
You
really
don't.
like a police matter. If it's not being investigated.
But you're not. What's your name? Sorry. What's your name first, please?
Sorry.
What's your name, please? I didn't get your name.
My collar number 7822.
So you're not going to give me your name now?
I don't need to give you my name.
Well, if I'm a complainant in a criminal matter, aren't you supposed to be reasonably sensitive to somebody instead of just, to be an anonymous number is very, very intimidating. But anyway, I'm not going to argue.
Apologise.
Well, you don't. I'm not sure you.
I don't really like giving my name out if that's okay, but I'm fully identifiable for my collar number.
I'm not going to get myself distressed about it. All I would say is that if or when I complain to you to PSD, your name that they have to provide your name anywhere. Somebody I'm complaining about, so your name will be forthcoming anyway. If I contact PSD about your conduct, so and you can give a first name without even knowing your full name. But anyway, I'm not. That's not what I'm calling about. So the issue is if you're not a police officer, what you're saying is prima facie. You know what I mean by prima. I'm not being patronising, but some people are familiar with the term. You know what I mean by prima facie.
Right, yeah.
Yes, you do know what I mean, yes or no? Yes.
I'm just a bit confused. You haven't actually said anything that has anything sort of, it's more of a medical issue that you something you have to take up with your GP. If they've not put you on, they put you on this scheme, then I'm not quite sure what the police are having to do with it. It doesn't really sound
first of all, did you just say take it up with my GP when I've just spent 20 minutes telling you I've been refused a GP by the surgery?
Okay, well, you need to take it up with whoever put you on this scheme then.
Yes, it's obviously not my GP because if the thrust of my phone call, because you're now, in my view, harassing me, because if I've spent 20 minutes explaining to you that I don't have a GP, which is what
I'm not harassing you.
But well, it's not. There's something wrong with the fact. I mean, I'll just try one more time. It's quite plain English, and then I'll tell you what's going to happen if you don't refer this to the police. Okay, we'll take it in stages.
Right. I would appreciate if you don't make threats to me either.
How have I threatened you? I'm recording this as you know, this is being recorded. Tell me how I'm threatening you. If you're making a false allegation that I'm threatening you, you're not helping your situation at all. How have I threatened you?
You just said to me, we'll find out what, I can't even remember what you said.
Okay, you can't even remember. You've made the most serious allegation. Yes, can I just try and clarify? You've just made a very serious allegation that I've threatened you, and then you couldn't even remember.
Are we able to get back on track with this Caroline Hawkins, because you haven't said how she's harassing you?
But, well, I mean, I'll try and boil us down to the brass tacks. I've explained to you that the act of the Communications Act, what it says about false information. I've explained to you the letter is false. Okay, that's the first complaint. It's a criminal allegation under the Communications Act 2003, and I've explained to you what in layman's terms what the act says in relation to the letter. And all I'm asking you is you make a report of what my complaint is, and then what I strongly suggest you do, it's entirely up to you, I can't direct you once we get off the phone, is you make the report to a police officer who actually knows the law or can be advised by the CPS or a senior officer if they don't know the law, and then decide on my description, and I can provide the letter if requested, as to whether or not there's been an offence under the Communications Act 2003. Okay, and it's as simple as that. In terms of the GP issue or being taken off and put on the SAS, the issue is if it's false, if they provided false information when I was the victim of a suspected offence from the doctor, from the person I complained about, if they've provided false information to stop me having access to a GP, for repeated medical necessity, and then that's clearly harassment. It's causing me harassment on more than one occasion because it's clearly malicious to stop me, to distress me. You have a GP, I have no doubt, so you can appreciate what somebody, especially if they've got personal medical issues, to not have access to a GP. Everybody, people, illegal immigrants come off the boat and are immediately provided with a GP. So I can bring in any. Well, I'm making an example. Because you don't. Sorry, I can make any example. I'm allowed to refer to illegal immigrants in any event. I'm happen to be, particularly incensed about illegal immigrants. That's my right. But I'll just take it to the personal. Yourself, then, you are entitled to a GP. Do you not agree that I should be, unless I've actually assaulted or been violent or threatened a nurse or a medical or the doctor? Then I shouldn't be on the scheme and should be entitled to a doctor. And what this lady has done is she's fabricated provable lies to stop me having a GP. They have to justify putting me on the SAS scheme by saying that I've committed effectively a serious criminal offence, threatened or assaulted a medical professional, in order to put me on the scheme, when they know that they can check from the recording of the incident that I didn't threaten or abuse anybody, and the only person that was under investigation by the police was the doctor. And what you were just the final point, because obviously it's up to you now whether you want to report it. Can I get a case reference? Are you going to report it to the police? Are you going to have you taken the details to refer it?
I have taken all of the details. I'm just a bit confused because you've said that this was all reported to the police, and the police officer has said that he's not going to investigate this. So I can't then raise something that's already been reported because they're just going to say the same thing.
No, but I'll just call you anonymous because you refuse even to provide a first name or a second name, neither of which would identify you personally. I'll just refer to you as anonymous. Anonymous. I've said it has the incident on the 26th of July 2018 was investigated. It was dismissed. I explained to you at the beginning. I accepted that cannot now be investigated, and if the PSD refused to investigate it. But the issue is now the false information from the letter, which I only received last week because I'd made no formal complaint to the surgery until last week, last year, the end of last year. The complaint is now that the justification for putting me on the scheme, nothing to do with it, is only relevant to the incident, in that they say that the incident is what put me on the scheme. But the information that would justify putting me on the scheme is provably false from the recording of the incident. So I'm not asking for the incident itself. I'm not, because the only issue in terms of that incident was Dr. Balewood being investigated for the Section 5, which I haven't complained about to you. So I'm complaining about the being put on the scheme, being denied access to urgent medical treatment on the basis that the information.
That's something that you need to take up with the company.
But
the police haven't put you on that scheme.
No, but if the I'll try one more time to explain it, but you don't have to. Why do I think now, which is something, you've understood what my complaint is, although you don't seem to understand it because you still think I'm complaining about the doctor calling me a piece of shit. That I'm not complaining about that. I'm not asking you to investigate that. I'm asking you to investigate the false information that has been provided. That's even if you say, and again, this should be a matter for a police officer, because you're not a police officer, therefore you don't even know you haven't even heard of the Communications Act. So how you can possibly define whether or not an offence has been committed when you don't even know the act under which I'm making the complaint is beyond me. But in any event, all I'm asking, that my complaint is, if you think it's not, first of all, the Communications Act has nothing to do with being put on the scheme. The Communications is the false information in the letter of of December or whenever it was last year. So it's the false information itself is itself an offence under the Communications Act. If you're in front of a computer, you can pull it up on your screen. Do you want me to pull it up? I'm in front of a computer. I can read it out to you.
Thank you very much. What I will
Listen to your tone. Listen to your tone.
Your last name, please.
Yes, it's Benjamin Gray. My last name is Gray, Gray. No, don't. No, you don't. No, please. please, can I just finish? Because I'm happy to listen to anything. I just want to finish off what I have to say. First of all, you cannot accuse me of threatening you as you did on this phone. That itself is a malicious communication. Ironically, what I was going to say was you have the police. I'm reporting it. I'm going through the motions, even though I know exactly, by calling you, I know exactly how I'll be treated by police because of this litigation history I have with the police. It may be that you don't know me. In fact, when I mentioned, do you remember I mentioned about I was arrested for communications offence? I was arrested but because of complaints from 999 Avon and Somerset call handlers and 101 call handlers complaining that I was abusing them down the phone, and the judge threw it out, saying that that I was making perfectly reasonable calls to the police, and the police and he criticised the police for their approach in that respect. And I had to defend myself because I can't get representation in that case. That's how I became familiar with the Communications Act in the first place. But in any event, my point is I'm asking the police to become involved. If they don't become involved, if they don't investigate my Communications Acts and harassment complaint, I will go to the surgery, and of course they will call the police. I'm not going to create a fuss or threaten anybody. Obviously, I'll be recording all my actions, and they'll have to get rid of me by calling the police, and then they'll either investigate me for arriving at the surgery and protesting about not having a doctor. But I'm not going to be lied to. Don't call me Benjamin. That's no. Okay, I'm going to hang up. I've told you what will happen. If you think it's a threat, if you think me going to a doctor's surgery is a threat, then take me. Then take me to.
Go to the surgery, and they will have to call the police.
Yes. But I specifically said, listen, it's recorded that I specifically told you just now I wouldn't do anything except record my engagement at the surgery. I'm only threatening. If you think it's a threat for me to go to the surgery per se, then please take me to court tomorrow. I'll be happy to defend myself in any case you like to. You've now lied twice. Because a threat has to be, I'm going to commit harm, isn't it? If you look it up on the dictionary, right? I've just told you. Okay, all right. Bye. Sorry, my name's Ben Gray. I called a few minutes ago. I spoke to an anonymous female when I was put through. I got put through to somebody to a police call handler, and she's accused me, even though I was recording the conversation just as she was, or the police were. She's accused me twice of making threats. One, she's accused me of making a threat to her, and I said, "What threats have I made?" And she said she couldn't remember. And then she said again that I was making threats when I said I was going to go to my local surgery, and I specifically stated that I wasn't going to assault anybody or even raise my voice. And she said that was a threat. So she's lying. She's lied twice. I had to hang up because she continued to call me Benjamin after I specifically told her I didn't want to be called Benjamin. So I was trying to. I don't want to go to the surgery, which is why I'm calling the police to get the police involved in the matter that I want to complain about.
So do you want to make a complaint against the call handler, or do you want to continue with your report?
Well, could I speak to a manager? Is there a manager that I could speak to? Is there a case reference to begin with?
I don't know. Did they give you one? Did they give you a reference number?
No, I just said, sorry if you didn't hear me. I said I had to hang up before I got a case reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't ask for a case reference if she'd already given me one. I mean, that would be silly of me, and I do have better things to do than that. Is there a case reference from the call? Can you identify this call from the number, or do you have to put me through to somebody else? What happens next?
Right, I'm going to put you on hold while I look into this.
It was a question. Okay. Right. That's the last time.
Helps to keep you, your family, and your community safe. Road-related incidents, including parking. Even the Somerset Police, how can I help?
Yes, hello. My name's Ben Gray. I rang. I've rang twice now. I just want to. I had a very brutal conversation with an anonymous call handler about 10 minutes ago. I didn't conclude the conversation because it's not clear whether the matter was going to be reported to the police. I was accused twice of making threats, which the recordings will prove I never made, and I was trying to get hold of a case reference if there is one. The lady, I then called again, and the lady put me on hold and made me listen to horrible music, which I'm not prepared to do. I'm happy for somebody to call me back, either sort of until midnight or early tomorrow. Um, but the important thing is the issue was whether I was. It's centered around a complaint against a surgery or staff at a surgery in the centre of Bristol and Montpelier, and I was trying to make the point that I would have to go there if the police didn't interact with me, but I much prefer to deal with it through the police without having to go there. That was the point I was trying to make, but that was interpreted as a threat. I've made it quite clear I've got no intention of causing any harm or hostile act, which is the definition of a threat. I simply said I would attend the surgery, and it was highly likely that they wouldn't want me to stay there.
Right, okay. I'm just having a look a second, obviously, on the notes from the previous
Thanks.
what was said to you and things like that.
Thank you.
Can you just confirm your name?
Yes, Benjamin Gray. It's Gray with an alpha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's sort of when you recall the second, I've been checked with the supervisors and that, and it's not something that police would get involved in, complaints about surgeries and things like that, and it would have to be up to the GP to get you off the scheme you're on.
Well, is that already? That's already gone to a police officer. And that wasn't the only complaint. I've made it quite clear that there was a first complaint about malicious communication, which is a letter that was sent to me about 3 or 4 weeks ago, making false criminal allegations that I'd assaulted and been abusive to various people. When I had recordings of there was actually a police 999 call because I was on the call to the police at the time, proving that I was the one who was abused, that I was called a piece of shit, and I was effed and blind at by my GP. So so what's happening with the malicious communication is that you haven't mentioned that, which implies it hasn't even been recorded. And finally, I've now got a fresh criminal complaint that I would like to raise with an officer because the lady accused me twice. First, she accused me of threatening her, and when I asked her what threats I'd made, she said she couldn't remember. And obviously, the call was recorded, and I made no threats to anybody, let alone her. So for her to fabricate on the call when I'm already talking about a distressful issue, whether or not it's a criminal offence, it's still obviously distressful that I can't get a doctor. And obviously being called can I just finish? Being called a piece of shit by your doctor is less than pleasant, as I'm sure you can imagine. I bet your doctor doesn't speak to you like that. So it was obviously distressful. And then to be accused of first threatening her, so she was making out she was a victim. That's perverting justice. Making a false criminal allegation is a criminal offence carrying up to life imprisonment. She then said I was threatening when I said I was going to go to the surgery, which is what I will do, because if the police, if what you're saying is correct and the police won't, they will have to become involved if I attend the surgery and refuse to leave. Not making anything hostile, as I've made quite clear. I did say I would be recording so that there could be no further false allegations. But obviously, if I stay at the desk at the surgery, the police are going to have to be called. Even if I'm just interfering with the queue. So the police are going to have to deal with. I'm just about to finish. So I'm happy to let you speak. At least you're being more patient than your colleagues. The police will have to be called. What do they think they're going to do with me? They'll have to. If I make the complaint, what complaint will be made against them? Will they say that I'm harassing them or public order or whatever? But it will have to involve the police. They will have to. They'll have to deal with me, but the very worst through the courts. And the courts aren't going to, unless I'm committing an offence, they're not going to be able to deal with me, as a suspect or an offender. But surely it's important. Please. First of all, have you addressed the letter and which officer or supervisor has made a decision? Is it a police officer? If so, what's his name? And I do understand. Finally, go on. Yeah. Sorry.
It's not a police officer, supervisor in the control room. So obviously, if we need advice, they're the ones who've listened to the call handler explain, what you've said to them and said it's not a police matter. And, you were right, if you go to the surgery and refuse to leave, that is the point where police would get involved. But that's
Okay, well, I mean, I thought, well, first of all, as I say, let's get back to the supervisor. Is the supervisor, you're saying that's a civilian and it's not a police officer, yes?
Correct, yeah.
So what's the supervisor's name for the first port of call? I do understand, I may be right. Am I not allowed to ask for a review by an inspector on that stage? I mean, it's obviously a choice. I could go to a police station, but I tend to get assaulted at police stations as well. So it seems to me that the best way forward is to go to the surgery. So what's the supervisor's name?
I don't have a supervisor's name, and we don't sort of hand out names over the phone either.
Okay. Okay. There's no data protection issue. I can assure you that it may be that you're permitted not to give your names, but if I have made a fair number of complaints. I'm very well known to the police as a complainant, if I make a complaint to PSD, they will have to give the name of the person I've complained about. That is required. So it will be on the PSD report form as to who the person being investigated. But I'm just making that as a technical point. It just means that you're supposed to be accountable to the public. You work on behalf of the public. You're not supposed to be private, citizens. And it's not right that you're anonymous, and therefore you're technically at the moment not accountable. And if I don't have a name, I've got no evidence that there has actually been a supervisor involved.
Well, you can go onto our website and request sort of your personal information. We have to fill out the form on our website. It's a subject access request.
No, it's not. I mean, it's. Let's leave that to one side. If I made it, certainly about your colleague who's made the. You say that has the supervisor listened to the whole call that I made with the 25-minute call, because I don't think it's even been 25 minutes since I got off the phone, so they couldn't have heard the whole 25-minute call.
No, it would be the call handler spoken to, and they would have looked at the log as well.
In terms of the other complaint, because the malicious communication complaint is a separate matter from the harassment. What I'm saying is that the issue about being put on the referral, do you accept, or would your supervisor accept that if I made a false criminal allegation about you and prevented you getting, therefore that you were prevented from getting a GP, would you not feel that was an offence? You think that it's all right for me? Would it be all right for me to somehow stop you getting a GP, getting access to a GP on false information?
Who's stopping you?
The particular person was Caroline Hawkins, who's the administrative staff member at Montpelier Surgery. She's the one that sent me the letter. It was supposed to be, I understood from earlier communications from her, or from somebody from the surgery, that it was going to be a doctor, because Dr. Bellwood has thankfully left. The doctor that called me names in 2018 has now left the surgery, which is obviously a good thing. And it was supposed to be up to the person that's taken over from him, because he was head of the surgery, I think. So I think it was a Dr. Brown was going to assess whether I should still be on the SAS scheme or address my complaint, but there's no evidence that a doctor's seen it. It's all been dealt with by Caroline Hawkins. So
what you need to do is you need to complain to the NHS.
No, it's no. If you could just help me here, if I, as a civilian, were to make false allegations which led to you being prevented getting a GP, would you not feel that I committed a criminal offence against you?
It's probably more civil than criminal. You could potentially speak to Citizens Advice about it.
All I'm speaking to you about is whether or not there's been a criminal offence. You're saying there hasn't, and obviously what I'm concerned about is that nobody who's actually has any knowledge of the law, which is this, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, the supervisor is not, I think you've already said this, is not a police officer, is that correct?
Yeah.
Right, so but surely can't we agree that the only person who's qualified in assessing whether or not a criminal offence has been committed, or not has been committed, but whether there's prima facie evidence of an offence being committed, there's reasonable suspicion of an offence, is a police officer. That is what distinguishes them from civilians. You're no more qualified than I am, and your supervisor is no more qualified than I am in assessing whether an offence has been committed. That's why somebody would report ordinarily to a police officer. Sorry?
They probably are a little bit, aren't they? Because they have experience with knowing with what police deal with and what they don't deal with.
Well, no, because I've won about 35 cases in the criminal courts. I've been prosecuted more than 50 times by the Avon and Somerset Police. I'm unable to get legal representation for complicated reasons that I won't go into. I'm very well known to almost, most of the apparatchiks, including Sarah Crew, your chief constable, and so on and so forth. You would have thought that if I've won, and you can check all my credentials, you can go online. I've got a YouTube channel called Newsworthy Publications, in which I document a lot of these cases. And I've won compensation with representing myself for false imprisonment and assault by your colleagues in the force. So surely that gives me probably more qualifications than an anonymous civilian sitting in a desk who, without even providing any reference to the law. In order to assess whether there's been an offence, you have to don't you have to give some sort of details, look at what the law says about harassment and whether and malicious communication under the Communications Act 2003. And then refer it to the evidence. Not just a civilian just saying there's no offence here, hop along, Gov, isn't really a proper explanation. I'm happy. I'm probably more inclined. I mean, is that not reasonable? I'm trying to be as reasonable as I can here because I want to be in the right all the way through this whole thing. So surely isn't it?
How it works is obviously we take the information from yourself and callers, then we assess what's being told to us, and based on sort of our knowledge, and obviously we ask for help from people like this if we need it.
Yeah.
We can assess whether it sounds like a crime or it doesn't.
Well, that's exactly okay. All right. Well, let's say. Go on. Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. So, everything you've said is an issue with the GP and with the person, the administrator. It's not for police to get involved with that. You've been told the same thing.
But it's not. Sorry, with great respect, it's not about who the person is I've been involved with. It's about what they've done. You're not seriously suggesting Caroline. Can I just make an example? If my example, if the actual statement I've given you isn't enough, if Caroline Hawkins had written to me and say I'm going to murder your family or you're a paedophile and I'm going to tell everybody you're a paedophile, when I'm obviously got no convictions of that nature or never been suspected, etc. Would you accept that was a criminal offence, regardless of the fact that it's an administrator at a surgery?
Well, yeah, because it's not anything to do with being able to see a doctor. It's an actual,
Well, no, thank you. I just stick to you agree that would be. So it's irrelevant whether all you've said as to why it's not an offence is because it's to do with the administrator. That's not a reason. You've just agreed with me. It could be if there are things that she could do, Caroline Hawkins, let's give her name, that would amount to a criminal offence. So it's not the point about this. So on the point about not being able to see a GP, the criteria, as I was explaining to your original colleague, is there has to be an investigation by the police where somebody has been accused of assaulting or being, verbally aggressive or threatening to a medical professional, either a doctor or a nurse or something of that nature. Okay, so how could I possibly be referred to the referral under their own criteria if it is the doctor who has been investigated for an offence, for a criminal offence of Section 5 or Section 4A public order? The point is if they've fabricated a reason to stop me seeing a surgery, to stop me seeing a doctor, that is harassment. I'm now being prevented from a doctor, which is having knock-on effects with how I'm being treated by the nurses or doctors if I go to A&E, and it's preventing me having a GP generally, including to do with special personal medical issues, and I can't even get treatment. I can't even get medication. I've been to not a GP, but a medical practitioner at Southmead. And they said because I was on the referral, unless I went to one particular allocation scheme, a particular place where I could access a GP, they wouldn't even provide me medication. So how is that? If it's harassment, if it's continual causing me distress, what any reasonable person would consider harassment, then why is that not harassment under the Harassment Act, Section 1 of the Harassment Act?
There must be a reason why they're not giving you medication and things like that.
Well, no, I'm not. The not getting the medication is not the issue. Is not the point. The point is a consequence of my not having a GP. Okay. If look, first of all, whenever I go to I'm able to access A&E. So if I have an emergency, I can still go to A&E. As soon as I go to A&E, they say, "Who's your GP?" You know, that's the first question they ask, or one of the first questions they ask. I say, I don't have a GP because I'm on the referral scheme. So they're treating me as though I'm somebody that has assaulted a medical professional. So that is causing. So their treatment of me is obviously going to be different, and I'm being prevented from a GP generally, which would be fine if I'd been investigated for assaulting or threatening an officer, because then there's been no fabrication to prevent me having a GP, so I would have no cause of complaint to the police. But people can't go around making up allegations such as this person's a paedophile, or this person's assaulted a medical professional, or this person's raped somebody. That is an offence. You can't just walk up to people on the street and point to people and say, make up criminal allegations that they've committed some serious offence when they haven't done that, especially if that's going to likely to them being assaulted or mistreated or not have access to a GP. So can you not, if you're just getting back to my original question, do you not accept that if I had stopped you accessing a GP, if I'd made up a story to stop you having a GP, would you not feel that a criminal offence had been committed?
Like I said, I'm not sure it's criminal. It's more.
No, I'll try one more time, because you're relaying the message. I accept that. So, but you've obviously agreed with your supervisor that there's no prima facie offence. Okay, I obviously can't persuade. You can't even answer. You're refusing to even answer the question, which would help me understand why you're giving me the answer you are. I'll just try one more time. If I, as a civilian, made up a story to prevent you having access to your GP, or any GP, not just the GP that you currently have, but any GP, would you not feel that I was committing an offence by that thing, by making up lying to stop you having access to a GP, which we all need and are usually entitled to?
Well, like I said, this is all civil. Benjamin, I'm going to come off the phone now, just because you've been told 3 times now.
Well, what's going to happen? Okay, so you say that the police are going to be involved. You obviously want me to go to the surgery because you're not happy. There was the other point about the letter.
You need to complain to the surgery. You need to complain to the surgery.
All right.
Complain to the NHS.
And so what are you going to do? So what are you going to do what are the police going to do? Because then the police will become involved and they will have better knowledge of the law. What are you going to do if I go to the surgery? What's the threat that you're making to me? Because you're still not dealing with No, you are. You're certainly. You've already said that if I go to the surgery, the police will deal with me as a suspect. That's how, and so therefore I'm likely to be arrested. I think that's. Well, I think that was the implication. So,
if you go there and refuse, and the surgery refuses to go to police,
right. But wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be surely? But if the police are going to have to attend, then wouldn't it be better first of all for them to get a police officer involved now, so I didn't have to attend? I'm making it quite clear that I don't want to attend the surgery. I would much, much, much rather speak to a police officer before I had to do that. And the reason is because I'm not selfish. I don't want to interfere with any of those patients, any of the staff that have nothing to do with this complaint. I don't want to make their lives more difficult. I don't want to obstruct the queue for people wanting to see the receptionist and see their GP as soon as possible. I don't want to involve myself in any of that, even if I'm perfectly entitled to do it. The only reason I'd have to do it is because I can't speak to a police officer about this matter because you're preventing that happening, or your supervisor is. And
because it's not a police matter, okay?
don't call me Benjamin. You're putting me Benjamin over and over again.